Hey everybody, it's Mr. Snake Eater coming back to you with some more Bible talk. Now, for anyone who knows, I have recently been to Washington and I actually got permitted to go into the Holocaust Museum and see the permanent exhibit. If any of you have a chance to go there, just even a chance, if you know someone who has tickets and they can't go, take the tickets. If you have a friend, if you have a family member, actually if you have a family member that's probably implied that you, if you have a chance to go there, just go there. And in the exhibit, I actually heard something in a video that they were playing that was very interesting, that science was confirming Jewish stereotypes. And that got my interest. Like, wait, science? I know science has said some stupid stuff before, but what? Actually, and I know for a fact that science actually at one point deconfirmed this, that being Jewish wasn't right, that the stereotype were inherited. But at one point it did. Now, I've come to this conclusion about this, that the scientists of back then were not searching for the truth. They were searching to prove what they believe in. That is what I have come to the conclusion by this. And it matches with it matches at the time period, it matches with what was going on, it would match everything else. It fits right in. Then this thought occurred. If science back then was just using these examples, like science in order to further prove its own beliefs, like some people are doing it for that, are scientists today doing that? That's what got my interest, and I'm wondering if that's true. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, clearly it would be true for some people, just like it wouldn't be true for some people, but I mean, actually, even if scientists were believing they were searching for the truth, there's no guarantee that they actually are. I mean, they could just be doing they're just looking for stuff that supports their belief. I mean, I'm no different than anyone else, and that's one of the basic things we do. We search for stuff to prove we're right. And is science any different from us? That just got me thinking. I mean, not different from us, different from back then. I mean, we got advanced technology, and sometimes there are things we can't fight. But are we really different from back then? Going on the topic from then and now, are we that much different from Nazi Germany, America? I mean, one of the things that did lead up to the Holocaust was the fact that Jews were already hated. In fact, that was actually common back then, that you just hated them. And now, in today's, are we much different? I mean, today you're probably saying, oh no, we're a lot different, no, we're a lot. But really, I see people, I mean, people got this mentality that if you support something from the past, you're an accepting person. But I've seen a lot more people really just attack, well, to be fair, religious people. And it's not all, and I'm not attacking atheists, because religious people have done it themselves. They've attacked ourselves, they attacked others. Atheists have attacked religious people have attacked other religious people's beliefs. And it's just, what makes us different from back then? I mean, back then, they didn't see anything wrong with it. They all thought it was fact. So whenever you're saying something like, oh, you know what? every religious man thinks that being gay is wrong, so it's wrong to be religious. I mean, that's wrong itself. Are we different from back then? And I've actually, and then there's flat out lies. I mean, there was just flat out rumor being spread out, lies, rumors. Here's one thing I've actually heard recently, and it was coming from someone, and he said, "You Christians are all sick people. I bet you would sell your own children out." That scared me, because Hitler was making the same remarks himself, and it's like, just, and then let's go back to the mental illness. Like, one guy, like, remember back like a few videos back I made a mental illness video, and during it, I quoted one guy who said a bunch of Christian names and said they were all mentally ill people, and it's like, so the people are trying to make all Christians look mentally ill, and it's like, this, when you do the comparisons, it's scary when you think about what America's becoming. And you know what? Back then, and I can tell you one thing that hasn't changed, is that America at least had some idea about the Holocaust that was going on. Granted, there was no absolute truth, or proof, I mean, not truth, to prove at the time that there was going on, but we were getting in, but there was, to a degree, of evidence that the Holocaust was going on, but we rarely ever did anything. And when we did, Hitler pulled out his trump card with making it all look nice. And but that happened during the war. Before the war even started, we had some evidence of it. It's just that we didn't want to go to war. That was just simply it. We didn't want to go to war. And then during the war, more evidence was coming in, and we could have actually, and a lot of people back then were actually telling us to, like, bomb the railroad tracks, bomb the camp, stop the Holocaust from progressing, and we were saying we can't do that, but we can't do that when we actually could. We were more focused on winning the war. We were blatantly ignoring the people that were dying and saying there's no evidence for it. Actually, we were denying all evidence back then. We didn't want to have a single reason to go to war. And during the war, we were giving poor reasons why we shouldn't help them. Like, the main reason why we didn't help them was the only way to help them would be to win the war. Now, why am I telling you all this? Well, genocide's happening today. That's why. It is happening in, I believe, African and South American countries. I believe there is, I'm not sure about Asia. I'm not entirely sure about that place. But I know there have been genocides happening in the past few years in Africa and South America. Now, one rule in the Holocaust Museum that I followed relatively well was no pictures, or out of respect, don't take any pictures. Now, I took one, but that's because I thought it actually, this is something I actually would need to tell you guys. First, they came for the socialisms, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unions, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Well, while I believe that's probably a modern day quote, could be from back then at the Holocaust, but I believe it's actually from nowadays. I'm not 100% sure, but it does have a lot of point to it. We relatively know about the genocide that's happening in Syria, but we're not doing anything about it. So, and we are blatantly attacking people in our own country, and we're not really speaking out against them because, oh, we can come up with some pretty good reasons for it. Like, you know what, not Jews, Christians have been in control of this country for a while. They don't deserve our help. They are against this group, or they have different ideals than us. But when it comes straight down to it, we just simply don't want to help, or we just don't, or it's just like we're not part of that group. So why should we be concerned? When in truth, Hitler, in truth, he started off with one group, and he just moved on and on and on till he took out to he practically getting rid of anyone that wasn't his ideal of what the perfect race is. And here in America, we were just ignoring it. Granted, like I said, we didn't have absolute proof, but we did have some idea. And during the war, we did nothing about it. Then, now look at today. We're doing the same thing now with, I believe, Syria. I believe it's where it's happening. And we're saying we want proof before we go in. Or there's no proof that said this is happening.